Hey guys, Bob Canada, how are you? Start my timer. First video was 14 minutes plus some change. Now we're going to do video two, where we're actually going to get into starting to build your business. So we call this first thing we do, we call it launch. Did I spell that right? They got a line under there. Let me see. Launching. I don't know if I did it yet. Okay. Launching your business. You want to expose this. In other words, your initial push, let's call it that. Some people say do it in a day, but I'm want to be realistic. I know people are busy. Some people want to, a little apprehensive. So try to get this in the hands of 10 people in your first month. How's that? Exposure. What does that mean? They watch the 3-minute video or the longer video, or maybe they visit the Team Limitless site. We're going to go over a little more specific what you say to them and such, or you get them on a BizOps Zoom, whether company or one that I'm doing every week, as we talked about. So launch show exposure equals, okay, looking at information, getting on a Zoom, okay, and then complete what we call an exposure. Can't just say, oh, they watched the video. Did you have time to talk to them? Because otherwise, sometimes if you don't have a meeting of the minds, yeah, well, not really. So that doesn't count. They gotta actually look at something. Better off if they get on a Zoom, and then you have to do what we call a little follow up, or use one of your senior partners in what we call a 3-way call to answer any questions, take any apprehensions. And it's not a big decision, but we just don't want people just solely to use the app. We'd like them to do the app and get excited about building this also. Okay. And some people come in with the product first, and then they like the product, where it's the app or the actual physical products, and then they start building the business. You follow me? So can't go wrong. You just got to get them started. Okay. That's an exposure process. We're trying to get what? 10 people to look at it. What is your goal? 3 associates, or they can be customers, but most part they're going to click the banner to become associates, and that's what this company built on. What we call the power of 3. Yeah, open up the full comp plan, you need 7, but the idea is that 3 opens up 10 levels of pay. So let's just think about 3. Anybody can do 3, especially if we're talking about a $42 app. But the point is this: 3 people to come on board. 3, why the power of 3? This is a 3x20 force matrix: 3, 9, 27, 81. And of course, some people are going to bring in 100 people. Some people are going to bring in no people. But the goal is, at least let's get your power of 3 going. And we can do that within our first month if we take this exposure process serious. Okay. Now, because of the cutting edge technology of Newcom, we feel at this point, and again, some people might love the products, but depending on your product, we're leading with Newcom, and depending on your prospect, I always mention that there's an opportunity to make money. Some people, if you're talking to a doctor or something, maybe you stay away from that initially. Okay. You just talk about the technology. So this is you. And just think, each person you're going to talk to, you're going to say, what's my approach? Should I just talk? And again, I know it could be product or app, but I'm going to keep focusing on the app. Am I just going to talk technology, or also going to bring up there's an income opportunity? That's up to you. Okay. I like to sprinkle in a little of both. So what's the first option? Phone call. We're going to show you some basic verbiage below. You can't just text them an app. They don't know, what do I do with this thing? You got to say something. Hey, I just looking at something, or look at this technology. So we're going to show you that below. Text verbiage or verbal verbiage, if you call them. I always like to talk to people, okay? Along with your xosialx Newcom website, which is where they view the 3-minute video, probably like you did. Or, remember, there's options here. So let's talk about them. If you don't want to just send them the app with the text, they can go to Bobby's team site, where if you look Team Limitless, the first 14-minute video. I set the table. I actually play the 3-minute video so they see it right there while they're watching the video. And then I go through the rest of that Newcom site where I actually show them the longer video down below where they can access that. Okay. Or they can get on one of my company Zooms. So that's where I also do kind of like the same thing. I'm going to show them the site, play the 3-minute video. So real quick, you could just send them a text the app with your website and kind of let them look at it a little bit and follow up. Remember, everything's going to follow up. You could send them to Team Limitless, or I take them through the process, or you can get them on a Zoom call. Is that clear? That any of those three that they follow through and do constitutes an exposure. Okay, let's keep it real simple for you. Okay? And then you always want to say, guys, especially if they're not a Zoom, they're doing some research on their own, like going to your site, our Team Limitless site, or watching your video on your website. When can you watch the info? Don't say, "Oh, take a look at it and get back to me." Well, I guarantee you call them a week later. Oh, I didn't have time. I'm guilty of that because sometimes I'm too low key and I want to be pushy. Better say, look, I'm going to send you some info. Not long. When can you watch it? I'll get to it. No. Give me a day because I want to follow up with you. I don't want to follow up until you view it. So can you watch it today, tomorrow? Don't give them more than a day. Well, maybe next week. What the hell is that? Okay. They're watching probably a 3-minute video. Look at a little info. Maybe they're going to my website and watching a 14-minute video start. So come on. Now, follow up any questions and close if they're ready. Or get them on the company. Remember, this could be reversed. Get them on a company Zoom. Maybe they looked at your website. They're intrigued. They want to get on a Zoom call now and hear it again. Okay? So you sometimes have to go from step 1 to step 2 to get them before they come on board, if you will. Okay. Now, option 2, you can do it in reverse. You can get them on a Zoom, and then you can show them on the website. Follow me? I gave you the 3 things you can do with them. There's no right or wrong. Just get them into some action. Okay. And again, I told you can lead with the business or a more general, open-ended pitch. Okay. Hey, are you looking for other ways to make money? That's if it's a business pitch. Have you ever heard about this crazy app? I think everyone, or I got this amazing, I don't know if crazy, I'll probably change that. Have you ever heard about, we got this amazing app that is absolutely altering people's health and their mood and their feelings. So you just got to come up with your own. Know what resonates for you, because you have to do a pitch if you got to get them to get spike interest before you send them an app or do this or do that. You have to spike some interest, right? Now, let's talk briefly about the ongoing process. I'll talk a little bit about this, and then we got 8 minutes. Good, we're doing good. And then we're going to talk about the cold market. So remember, the launch was your top 10. Now we're going into, and I just went over the different ways with the Zooms, with the website, following up. Now we're going to talk to the ongoing. Ongoing means what? You did your initial 10. You probably have your 3 or more people. Now we have to do something. What do you do on month 4 or month 2? Year 1, year 2. One thing about my other business, I used to teach this when I spoke to hundreds of people. You got to have a system. I have systems for everything. One page leads me to another. One to-do list leads me to another to-do list. You can't just fly by the seat of your pants. Okay? So you have to say, I want to build this. I got to be regimented. And too often, especially when you're talking to people, you get a little apprehensive, you get lazy, and next thing you know, you talk to 2 people all month, and then you wonder why my business isn't working. No, you're not working, okay? So let's talk about something everybody can do. So I call this my 90-30-10-3 system, okay? Number 1, approach 3. Whoa, don't erase. Approach 3 new people a day. That's about 30 days in a month. That gives you 90 people that you're opening your mouth to. You're trying just to strike interest. Now, I'm going to show you some verbiage below. Okay, I'm just giving you the overview. Your real goal. So if you do this on person one, maybe you could stop. I'm saying you might have to talk to 3 people to get one person, 1 out of 3, that reacts what we say favorable. Favorable means they're agreeing. I didn't say they did. At this point, they go, yeah, I'll get on a Zoom. Remember your 3 points? I'll look at your website. I'll look at teamlimitless.com. I'll go to that site. I'll watch the 14-minute video. They're agreeing to take it to what? The next step. It could even be try a product at some point. So they're agreeing to take it to the next step. That gives you 30 people that we say are in the funnel, in process. You with me? Got to talk to 3 to get 1. That's 30 people a month. Now, you might find this astounding when it comes to people, but let me enlighten you. 1 out of 3 will actually get on a Zoom or get on a look at your website and follow up with a call. Remember the things I told you considers an exposure? The other one, oh, yeah, I know I told you. I didn't get time yet. Next thing you know, at some point, you just say, they're not looking. They're not interested. Or maybe at one point they were, and life gets busy. It's just people. They can't stay focused. I love people, but they drive me crazy. So out of that 30 people, 10 of them are actually going to watch the video and follow up with you and say, consider what we consider an actual exposure, right? Like we talked about that. So now this might overlap into the next month, but every month, you start with a sheet of paper. I'm telling you, or put on your computer, whatever the hell you do, but don't leave it up here. Like, how many people I talk to? I keep a track. I don't know if I have it here. I threw it away somewhere. It doesn't matter. It's somewhere. But I actually have a month of February. There's my list. New sheet of paper in March. What's my goal? Have 30 names on there. Okay? So you got to talk to 3 to get 1 person looking, then I keep track of them. How many of those 30 saw the plan? You want 10 of them to see the plan. And then, guys, it's just a numbers game. You follow up with them, they make a decision. I think it's almost impossible not to get 3 people out of 10 who saw the plan or followed up to become reps. All right. To join with a $42 a month app. That's 3 new people a month. Guys, if everyone, I told you the power of 3. If everyone just brought in 3, period, we'd blow this thing up over time. But imagine if we're all bringing in 3 people a month. What an explosion in your organization you could have. So it's a numbers game. So what we do, this is verbiage that you can text or you can verbal. When you want to talk to someone, you could just say, get on a Zoom. You could do that. But if you're going to send them to a site, you probably got to give them a little info. So look at this, see what you want to change, and then form your own text or form your own verbiage when you talk to someone. Have this in front of you if you need it. Hey, Jim, I recently partnered with a company that secured the worldwide marketing rights to this incredible technology that I think everyone is going to want to use. Now, this is what's exciting, Jim. Before February of 26, February this year, depends when you're talking, this was only used by high-level organizations. Jim, how about if I told you the U.S. military, special forces, 78 professional teams, countless doctors and medical facilities throughout the world, and over 2.7 million surgeries. I don't like to say without anesthesia. I just think they're like, what are you talking about? It's just too much right there. So I just say million surgeries. It's now being launched to the general public worldwide, and the company I'm working with has the exclusive rights. So this technology, you just tell them real quick, helps people with sleep, energy, health issues, athletic performance, focus. Aren't those all massive markets? I'm telling you guys, right? So you're going to get them. Wow, I have trouble. Who has trouble sleeping? Who has trouble focusing? Who has health issues? Who would love to wake up or get stoked before they work out? Okay, so you're giving them something to chew on so they'll do the research or get on the Zoom. You got to get them fired up a little bit, okay? Now, I'm accompanying this text will be my personal Newcom's website. You got to explain it to them. Watch the 3-minute video, and towards the bottom, click on the vault. That's if you want them to watch the longer one. Again, I'm showing you what I like. If I'm touching my site, I want them to watch that. Now it's 37 minutes because they cut out the YouTube commercials. That is the CEO of Newcom blowing their mind, going to depth about this technology. Okay. It's a downloadable app. It's only $42 a month, Jim, and you can cancel whenever you want. Money back guarantee. You can be a customer, but if you also now I'm throwing in the money because I don't know where he is financially. This could also blow up to you financially just by sharing something this astounding. Okay, get back to me even again. Now that could be a lead-in. I want you to get on a Zoom. I want you to look at Team Limitless. I want you to look at my website. Okay, I wrote that as watching the vault, getting on the website. Obviously, if you're talking to them about getting on a Zoom, you wouldn't be mentioning the vault and all that other stuff. Okay, now that is the end of video 2. We're going to finish off with video 3, where I get into the coal market. This was 16 minutes, okay? And we'll wrap up with the third video.